Alrighty, well, last time I really saw you guys with the truck, we were doing the test drive, and we busted our ass. I busted my ass to get it done so that I could move it over to the new house. That was the whole thrash on that. With that, we had some hesitation on acceleration. It stayed in the higher RPM range, and it shifted through the gears really quickly. So we would take off in 1, 2, 3. It was in third, fourth gear, like right away. When we got back, I had a loose fitting on the cooler line, so that was a big component of that. I lost some fluid. There was definitely a sizable leak, so you had that taken care of. The fluid also smelled really burnt, so not a good combo there. When I got back, tightened the fittings, topped off the fluid, heat cycle, tested everything, got all of it, but we still had a little bit of just a real faint drip on the front of the transmission. But overall, the test drive went fairly well. We drove to where we wanted to. We bedded the brakes and everything. We drove to get gas, fired it back up, came home. Really didn't have too much of a problem getting to and from point A to point B and back to point A. So a week later, it was time to move to the new house. The truck is what I would consider done enough to move. And so I head over there, fire it up, and fires right up. Put it into gear. I can feel it shift. The RPMs drop like they're supposed to. The dash indicator says that it's in gear. So I let off the brake and nothing. The truck doesn't move at all. So I give it a little gas, nothing. That's weird. So I put it in drive to see if I can move forward and just maybe I don't have reverse for whatever reason. Nothing, won't move. So I get out, scratch my head, curse a few times. So I shifted into neutral and figured out, hell, let's just push it out of here. Shifted into neutral, literally can't move it. I can rock the wheel about that much, barely anything. So it feels like it's still in park. So again, shut it off, swear a lot, text a couple friends, come up with a couple ideas, but next step, I figured, hey, I'm gonna remove the drive shaft, and if it still doesn't roll, then I know brakes are probably locked up, which all things considered, I hoped was the case. It wasn't. Pulled the drive shaft, it rolled just fine. So because of that, we know that it's transmission. And that was what we figured. If you watched that video, you probably could have guessed that there was going to be something wrong with the transmission. It's not the torque converter though. Everybody has been wanting to think that it's the torque converter, and it's not. Shit, right? The whole thrash was to be able to drive it over there. So not the way I wanted to spend or get it over there, but tow truck, got it up, rolled it into the new garage, and honestly, I just let it sit. I was mad. We were getting settled in the house. The shop wasn't built out at all. Honestly, after doing a little bit more research, I was like, hey, maybe this isn't something overly significant with the transmission. Maybe it's the park pawl mechanism, which as it engages, clips down and obviously doesn't let it out of park. So I figured maybe it's going into reverse. The indicators know that it's going into reverse, but that park pawl is not being disengaged. So what we did is the first part of this video that you're gonna see, we pull the pan and we inspect the park pawl mechanism, we being my daughter and I. She's been wanting to learn, she's coming out, so I'm gonna put her to work. Alrighty, first things first, we are going to jack it up, drain the transmission, get the pan off so we can get into the insides and see if we can figure out what's going on here. Got my trusty helper who's ready to get dirty, so let's make that happen. How's it coming down there?
Good.
Good. She wanted to help, I'm putting her to work. Okay. Not metallic-y. No chunks. There's one little sliver of metal right there. Which could be, oh, I lost it. It's in there. But nothing. Red flag, so that's good. As we were emptying, this big old chunk just dropped out of there, so that's not a good sign. Gotta figure out what that is. Go ahead. Okay, well, let's do a little investigation here. I have to get up into here to see if that park pawl is screwed up, but front half of everything looks pretty decent. It's all moving appropriately. All right, get in here and situated. So what we're really interested in is right in here. So I want to see that the park pawl mechanism right here is disengaging park, because that's kind of what isn't happening. Let me see if I can do this with light. There we go. Down there. Right in there. And that lever is engaging and disengaging. So that leaves me at a bit of a loss as to what this could be as I struggle to get out of here. There we go. So put some feelers out to some of my friends and contacts that know way more about this than I do, and see what we can come up with together. But as of right now, like I said, I'm at a bit of a loss. That chunk that came out of there probably isn't a good thing. What is it? I'm not sure, but let's find out. So after those findings, we discovered, yes, it's not the park pawl, which is, I don't want to say worst case scenario, but it was pretty close in my mind. So time to pull the transmission, and you're gonna see that now. Not gonna lie, that did not go exactly as I drew it up, but it's out safely. I'm okay. Truck's okay. Whew. That son of a bitch is heavy. Anyway, it is out. Not the easiest thing to do. I'll be honest, that's gonna be a bitch to get back in there. I'm gonna have to find a way to borrow some shop time and get it on a lift to get that in there, because that's not very easy. Anyway, it's out. So step one of that revive the C10 process is underway. Awesome, glad that's done. So the transmission's out now. Tomorrow, a friend of mine owns a transmission shop. He's worked there for 30 plus years. He's owned it for 30 plus years. His dad owned it before that. So they've been in business for, I think it's over 60 years working on transmissions. So he's nice enough to let me come in. We're gonna do a bench teardown. He's gonna kind of teach me all of it, and that'll be fun to learn. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what's wrong with it, fix it, and we'll go from there. I'm not entirely sure how quickly we'll be able to get parts and get it rebuilt, but he seems confident we should be able to do it the next day. I won't be able to be there for the assembly portion of that, but I'll at least have it done and have it back literally 5 days later from when I pulled the transmission, so that's pretty neat. In the meantime, also what we're gonna do is we're gonna help those cooler lines, we're gonna help them out a little bit. So what I figured, they run awfully close to the top of the header, so we're gonna put one of these over the cooler lines, and that will help keep those a lot cooler. And then also on the headers on both sides. I figured we'd do some exhaust wrap, and that way, you know, we can mitigate some of the heat that's going on. Also, for you guys that have been following along for a while, I've been getting a couple messages. Do I have any like merch or shirts or anything? I don't have shirts, but what I did is I've got these stickers, which are pretty cool. Guy on Instagram at 4-Door Phil, which I'll put his handle right there. He draws these up. Anyways, I've got a bunch of these, and if you're interested in one, let's do like, I don't know, $5 on these. Message me on Instagram, and we'll make sure that we get the payment and everything set up, and I'll send it over to you. But if you're interested in one of these are pretty neat, pretty cool on the toolbox or whatever it is you want to put it on. But yeah, thanks for you guys' support, encouragement, criticism, all of it that comes with it. I get a lot of all of it, so I deserve most of it too. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys.